It's Bev here, welcoming you back to another episode of the Treat Your Business podcast. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that could completely transform your clinic's growth: visibility. It's no longer enough, guys, to just be seen the 7 times in today's noisy world. It could take 20 or even 30 touch points before a client takes action. So I'm going to share some real world examples. I'm going to share powerful strategies and, importantly, the mindset shifts that you need to ensure your business stays top of mind and top of the market. So let's get visible and let's grow your business in the right way. Welcome to the Treat Your Business podcast with Katie Bell. I'm Katie, and this is the place where clinic owners like you learn the strategies, tools, and mindset shifts needed to transform your clinic into a thriving business, one that gives you more time, more money, and more freedom. Born from a passion to challenge the idea that average is normal, we empower clinic owners to create extraordinary businesses, incomes, and lives. Through our world-class coaching programs, we help you step out of overwhelm and into confidence, turning your clinic into a business that fuels your lifestyle, not draining. So, are you ready? Let's dive in. I'm delighted to tell you this episode of the Treat Your Business podcast is proudly brought to you by Nucal, the leading practice management software designed to streamline operations and empower every allied health clinic. Their platform seamlessly handles every aspect of your clinic, from scheduling and clinical note-taking to invoicing and reporting. Their innovative solution will help streamline your clinic and free up your valuable time, allowing you to focus on delivering better patient care and growing your business. So if you're tired of juggling multiple systems and wasting precious hours on administrative tasks, then experience the innovation of Nucal and discover how it can improve the efficiency and profitability of your practice. Visit nucal.com today to learn more about how their automated features and user-friendly interface can revolutionize the way you manage your practice. Unlock the full potential of your clinic with Nucal, the practice management software that puts you in control of your time. Now, let's get back to business. Number 7 is your new lucky number. It was my Gromps' lucky number 2, and I have to say he was an incredibly fabulous person. Depending on what school of thought you come from, depending on what books you read, some say that you need to be visible 7 times before someone will finally make that brain connection that they have been meaning to call you or book in with you, or maybe that realization that perhaps you are the person that can help solve their problem. But in fact, because of the volume and because of the noise out there now, I think it's more like 20 or 30 times that you need to be seen for people to know that you are there. We have had this so many times in our clinic where people have come in and we will say, where have you heard about us from? Or how did you get to know about us? And they say, do you know what, Katie, I've been driving past your studio every day to work for like literally the last 7 years. And it was only when I saw you in my son's scout, I'm sponsoring something for the scouts, that I suddenly went, oh my gosh, that's our studio that I've been driving past that I've been meaning to go into. And it blows my mind because I think we're really visible and I think we're everywhere, but it can take somebody so long to make that connection. So in today's episode, we're going to dive into this in more detail and find out how you can be visible 7 times over, or even 20x, to ensure that you are getting a constant flow of leads into your business. So let's do this. So my first question is, how visible really are you? Like, really? If you tell me you put some flyers into a random coffee shop a few months ago, that does not count, guys. Or maybe you once ran a session for the WI, you gave no call to action, you just gave loads of value, and you've never been back. This also does not count. Being visible is about being consistent. And you will have heard me talk about consistency before in business. When people say to me, how have you grown such a successful clinic? And how are you running another successful business alongside of that? There isn't a magic pill. Sorry to say that, guys. There isn't a quick route to success. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up every day and doing what I need to do. And that's the same for being visible. Those business owners who are visible 1 minute and they post on social media for a week because they've listened to somebody who said that's what they need to be doing. Then they start doing it and then they just stop. That's inconsistency. If they decide to do Google ads for a month and then they go, oh, I'm not getting a return on my investment, so I'm just going to stop doing it, then that's not consistent. If they put some flyers into this random coffee shop and then don't track, don't do anything with them, don't make sure that the joint venture or the collaboration you've got with this coffee shop owner means that they win, you win, and the client wins, then that's not consistent. So it's not just doing something randomly once and then never again or forgetting about it. I speak to so many clinic owners every week. And one of the biggest mistakes I hear clinic owners say to me is this: Casey, I don't really do any marketing. I just rely on word of mouth, or I'm just doing Google ads. Or what I see is they're just doing random acts of marketing, which wastes so much time and so much money. And it's often these clinic owners and business owners that need more clients, they need more money, and they're wasting so much money and time on these random acts of marketing. So which one are you? Are you not really doing any? Are you just doing Google ads? Excuse my French if there's children listening to this in the car while you're driving on your way. I know everybody listens to me on a Wednesday morning in the car. Or are you randomly pissing in the wind? Because if you are one of those three things, let me tell you, you are going to have inconsistent lead flow. You're going to be that person that feels like they're on this roller coaster where sometimes the income is up and then it drops off, and then sometimes it's up and then it drops off again. Let me tell you about something that happened a few weeks ago whilst we were on holiday in Greece, in Corfu. Greece, Corfu, hotel, fabulous. Corfu, shithole. Never going back. Wow. It was a dive. I think Corfu is still stuck in the... Do you remember when we were 18? God, I feel so old. And you used to go... Was it Kavos? Everybody used to go to Kavos on holiday. I'm totally digressing here. Anyway, the Icos on Corfu, the Odysseia, wow, it was fabulous. Never going back to Corfu. Anyway, I got an email whilst we were away from our website providers, the guys that host our website, who build our website, and they are fabulous people. They emailed me to say, Katie, it's Monday morning and we are back in at work and we're looking at your Google ads and they're doing the SEO and all the stuff that they do every day. And they said, your website's gone down. And we don't know why. Now, it was GoDaddy, okay? Long story why, who had royally chuffed something up. Now, what actually has happened is this happened on the Saturday night, and it was the Monday morning I got alerted to it. It then took all day Monday to sort. GoDaddy were a bag of shit. But anyway, they finally sorted it for me. But there's a lesson in here. I was in a rage all of that Monday. My husband didn't know what to do with me. I was in a rage all day because I was having to speak to somebody that was very far away and they were not understanding what my problem was. It also, for me, the biggest, I could feel this anxiety was that a lot of our bookings come from online bookings. A lot of our bookings come through Google Ads because they work so successfully for our business. Now, had we not worked tirelessly and consistently on our marketing strategy over the last 10 years, this would have left us completely screwed. No online bookings for nearly 3 days. But in the whole big picture, we are now, depending on when you listen to this, we're now at the beginning of June. And so we obviously look back at our sales and our revenue every middle of the month so we can see if we're on track or off track. And then the beginning of the following month, we look back at the previous month for the month end. We basically exactly where we need to be. Those 3 days, although at the time I was an anxious Annie, it actually didn't make a big impact on our business. Why? Because A, we're not just reliant on Google Ads. B, we have a consistent marketing strategy. And I've forgotten what C was. But anyway, so the first thing to get really clear is, where do your ideal clients hang out? As I was in Corfu having my meltdown, I was actually prepping for our 2 big live strategy days that we had in Coventry, very salubrious places we take our clients to. Anyway, we went to the Hilton Coventry. It's fine. It's great for what we need it for. And it was getting everybody into a room and delivering 2 days. The first day was activate your offline marketing, and the second day was elevate your marketing. So that's for our activate members and our elevate members. So for the activate, I was teaching them how to activate their online marketing. I was getting them really clear on, where do your ideal clients hang out? How well do you really know them? How can we get in front of those people? What type of marketing? What's the wording that we need to use to resonate with the conversation in the client's head, so that we stand out and people then see us, we're visible? And I thought, this is a really timely thing for this to happen to me, because I'm not only teaching people on the Thursday and the Friday and the Sunday on the Monday about their offline marketing, but it made me really see the importance of why we can't just rely on digital marketing. Because a few months ago, people got hit by what they call the Google slap, which is where the algorithm changed almost what appeared to be overnight. And so the cost of getting our leads jumped. And it was called the Google slap. We had the whole iOS 14 update with Facebook a few years ago that made getting leads on Facebook even harder. And the thing is, with Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn, you don't own that database. That database is not yours. So we have to find other ways of being visible. So we've not got all of our eggs in one basket. We have got a multi-layered visibility strategy. So as I said, I want you to get really clear on, where do your ideal clients hang out? Like, how well do you really know them? I could tell you specifically where my clients in my clinic shop, what schools their kids are at, what sports clubs they're involved in, etc., etc. If you don't know this level of detail, then how do you know how to reach them? The first thing we always recommend you do is to survey your clients. If you do not know this, do some market research so you can see what possibilities you have for marketing. What collaborations can you form? What joint ventures can you form? Where could you be a resident expert? Where are you going to stick your flyers? So it's not just on a wing and a prayer that the person behind the letterbox is your ideal client. That is macro targeting. That is very costly, very expensive. And none of you have got that sort of budget to just chuck at a mass marketing flyer option. Where can you give personal invitations out to? Remember, the lucky number is 7, Grumps' favourite number. This is the aim for your clinic, to be visible in 7 different ways. I shared on our recent live strategy days with our clients all the different layers of visibility we have in our clinic and within Thrive, and why this has allowed us to grow and scale consistently year on year. And we did some really high level masterminding. Guess what we did? We went speed dating. It's wild. We speed dated on marketing ideas. I know. Hold your horses. It was so exciting. I thought it was great. The clients thought it was great. We had a lovely time. But this was what we did. We shared with each other our very best offline marketing strategy, or online, but not Google Ads, because that's nothing new or different. That's just everybody really in our industry right now. One of the cheapest ways of getting leads is Google Ads. However, we did some high level masterminding where we speed dated around the room and we shared our very best marketing ideas. And this is key, because what we were explaining is that you don't need to keep reinventing the wheel here. It's about doing what works and doing more of it. So I want you to think about, in your clinic, how many layers of visibility do I have? what is working and what is not working. Because I had a call with a fabulous lady yesterday who is a women's health physio, and she does mummy MOTs, and she does home visits as well. And one of the things that she said on the call when I asked her about her marketing strategy was that she's paying £150 a month to somebody to do her social media posting. And I said, okay, great. How many clients is that bringing you in a month? And she didn't know. And her words were, yeah, but I think I probably should be visible in that way. And I said, okay, I'm not saying that you don't have to be, but there are better ways to spend £150 right now than randomly just getting posts on Facebook and Instagram. Because how many followers do you have? What is your visibility there? Because there'll be a lot of noise in Facebook and Instagram, which means people don't assume people have seen your post. I had another call yesterday with somebody who told me that they were struggling to recruit. And I said, what have you done? I posted it on Facebook and Instagram. I said, how many times? Maybe once or twice. Okay, nobody's going to have seen that because there's so much noise. So whatever you do, you have to do things consistently. But looking at what is working, how do we get clients? If you tell me word of mouth works, great. How do we do more of that? How do we bring in a referral scheme? If you tell me that going to the WI and having talks in front of your ideal client, because the people that go to WI are your ideal clients, and that you've given an amazing high value talk presentation where you've agitated their problems, you've given them an indication or a little bit of solution, but you've not just given them all everything so that they don't need to work with you. And then you give them a really strong call to action. And from that, you bring them into your programs or your packages, or even just pay as you go, whatever. If you tell me that works, great. How do we do more of that? How do we secure you more WI talks? You've got to be tracking every lead that comes into your business. You want to know what's working and what's not working, because I can guarantee there's going to be loads of you listening to this morning. If you're listening to it on a Wednesday morning, like I know everybody does in their car, who are spending either a load of time doing stuff that isn't working, but you don't know it's not working because you're not tracking it, or you're not doing anything. You're just hoping that your business is going to grow without you having to be really visible. Your messaging is your second thing. This needs to be super on point. When we have a impactful message and we get the right media source. So for example, if I have a specific messaging and I'm going to use a personal invitation to members of a Pilates studio where my ideal clients are, that's my audience. I want that audience because those people are often rehabbing from injury, they're in pain, they want to be more flexible, they're investing in their health. Those are the clients that I want to get in front of. And I create some personal invitations that invites all of them to a get out of pain and move better in your Pilates class consultation. Then I have got messaging and media on point, and that's going to work effectively. What often happens is we fail on a few parts. We fail on the messaging. So we talk loads about the fact that you're a physio or an osteopath and that you do K-taping and cupping and acupuncture and mobilizations and manipulations. Nobody cares because they just need to know, are you the person to get me out of this problem? I'm not bothered about the solution at this point. They are buying themselves out of the pain. So we have to get clear with our messaging. We have to stop talking about solutions. We have to stop selling them what we think they need. We have to sell them what they think they need and then deliver what they actually need. So your messaging has to be on point. It has to connect with the conversation in your ideal client's head. And there's a very powerful technique called AIDA, AIDA. And this is how we structure our marketing. And your media needs to be on point for your marketing to work effectively. We need to select the right media depending on who our ideal clients are and where they are. And not many business owners will get these things right first thing off, but that's okay. You've got to be happy and prepared to fail. So many of us are too scared to fail. We put barriers up at every opportunity. You've just got to get yourself out there. So what are you doing to create visibility in your clinic? I shared with our members a few weeks ago, our live event, that the things that we have done in the last 10 years, wow, we've sponsored a GB athlete. We've made and created and ran our own race in the city. And we had our pink branding all over the park. We had volunteers of our clients that were marshals of the race. We had 250 people attend the race, all raise money for charity, but we were super visible and we had loads and loads of things that we gave to the runners that brought loads of work into our clinic. I've been at events, so many events in the city. We've either sponsored or attended or ran post-event massages out or whatever it is, or physio sessions. We've linked with the golf clubs because that's where our ideal clients are. I ran a workshop which was called How to Play Golf Until You're 100. Because that's all what golfers want to do. They just want to play golf. And there was a very clear call to action that they could take from this workshop that then brought them into the clinic. And 10 years later, I still have those clients. We had a car wrapped in bright pink. I've been on the radio. I've been in magazines. We have one of those. I told our clients this a few weeks ago. Do you remember the cartoon? The old school cartoon that when something exploded or something, it went, ow. And it had that kind of bright lettering and like a star kind of explosion behind the wording, POW. We took that and we took the P off to make OW. And we've created a big banner that sits right opposite our clinic on the traffic lights that says, in pain, call this number. We have joint ventured with people who share our audience. I've been the resident expert in other people's magazine e-zines, like monthly newsletters that they send online to their clients. To create a difference, you have to be visible. For me, in Thrive and in my clinic, for us to have the impact that we want to have, I have to be visible. Protecting our visibility or protecting our ability to be visible in Thrive is what our QBR is. If you don't know what the QBR is, go back into the podcast episode that tells you that. I can't remember the number, but search it. But what we have to do at all costs is enable me to be visible. So if I am sat here, spent time doing loads of stuff that is not about driving visibility, and then we're not protecting that. So if I'm going to be spending loads of time answering emails and not being able to create these podcasts or run live events or be visible within our community and link with partner with Physio First and run webinars, which I've got an invitation for you. Do not go anywhere because you're going to be very excited about this webinar coming this month. If we are not visible, we cannot help people. So visibility is currency. Visibility is currency. I have an urgent message. Is your team employed or are they self-employed? The rules have changed. I want to make sure that you're going to get super clear. Or you could just not and risk getting caught out. Wednesday the 26th of June, 12 o'clock to 1:30, I am running a live webinar with some HR specialists from Peninsula who are going to be helping us get really clear on the things that who even knew, 23 new employment reforms that have recently been introduced and being introduced with the new Employment Rights Bill. And the line between employed and self-employed has shifted. And if you get it wrong, we could owe thousands in back pay, face legal actions or fines, find yourself in neck deep HR hell that you didn't see coming. And I know this feels really scary. And this is why I am hosting this free webinar for you guys on the podcast who listen to this. So the webinar is going to help you understand whether your team or your future hires should be classed as employed. Are they self-employed or are they workers? You may have seen the recent big news in the news about Uber, and they lost they lost the case because they actually knew that their employee, the people were being classed as workers. They were not self-employed. Even big firms like that are getting it wrong. We need to know exactly what the law says, not what your mate down the road told you. And I want you to stay compliant. I want you to be protected. I want you to run a stress-free company. So no matter how your team is set up or is going to be set up in the future, make sure you are on this webinar. I promise you it will deliver high value and it will encourage you all to sign up to the live webinar on June the 26th. Link will be in the show notes below this podcast to get your place registered now. And it's a live only event. It's not going to be recorded. So cancel clients, like cancel your kids' christening, cancel your wedding, whatever you need to be at this event. I need you to be there because it's going to be packed full of high value. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. And I can't wait to be back next week for the next episode.